Hello. Today we're looking at this sketch by Mari Hosho. It draws an animated comp form logo. Mari made this sketch during the animation unit in my comp form class. It uses P5.js for the drawing. Let's take a look at the code. The main draw function breaks up the drawing into several functions. Each of the functions has a pretty similar structure. It starts by calculating the position for the drawing, and then it does the drawing. The code that figures out where to do the drawing is more or less common in all of the functions, but the part that actually draws the letter is unique based on the letter form it's drawing. The first thing I notice is that some of the functions take a parameter and some don't. This function has a parameter a, but it's not used. Let's start by getting rid of these unnecessary parameters. Now let's focus on one of the letter drawing functions and see if we can clean it up before we look at the other ones. Position C is given a value right here for the first time, but it's not declared with let, var, or const, so it's becoming a global variable. Let's explicitly declare this variable. Now this variable is no longer global. Its scope is limited to the function drawC. Because these are now local variables, they can have the same name as another local variable in another function, and there won't be any conflict. Angle never changes, so let's change that to a const. This is a pretty common pattern. It assigns a value to position, then checks to see if position has gone past some upper threshold, and if it has, keeps it at that threshold. Instead of using this if, we can use min, which returns the lower of two values. And C still stops where it's supposed to. And now that we never change position's value, we can make this a const as well. When you declare things as const, it's a signal to other people reading your code that after the initial assignment, the value of this variable will not change. That makes it easier to read and understand the code. Now, let's rearrange these functions so that all the fill and drawing code is next to each other. Now these functions are very consistently formatted. Calculate our variables, do our drawings. Finally, I'm not sure if this code should be in its own function. The function is only called from one place, and it's not the sort of function that I could call from another place. It doesn't take any parameters or return any values. And a lot of these functions do duplicated work, which we could move up into draw. Let's take a look at how this would look if we pulled this code out of each function and inlined it in draw. Now, angle, position, and position 2 are calculated once at the top of the draw loop, and then followed by the code to draw each letter. You can take a look at this code and the original code in the links in the video description.